Are you, or have you ever had an existential crisis? I'm talking about being at rock bottom. You feel brought down to your knees, your soul feels lost, one that makes you question everything you know. Welcome to the dark night of the soul, a concept that has been discussed and pondered by spiritual seekers and philosophers alike for centuries. It's often described as a profound spiritual and existential crisis, a period where everything you thought you knew, everything you believed in, is turned inside out and upside down. This isn't just a minor hiccup on your spiritual journey. No, it's a cataclysmic upheaval that shakes the very foundation of your being. Imagine a storm, a tempest of the soul, where all your emotions, fears and doubts whirl around within you. You're left feeling lost, confused, perhaps even abandoned. It's a time of intense emotional and psychological challenges, where your inner world becomes a battlefield, and you're left grappling with the weighty existential questions that have puzzled humanity since the dawn of time. But why am I here? What is the purpose of my life? Is there even any meaning to all of this? These are the questions that haunt you during the dark night. It's a time of deep introspection, where you're forced to confront the darkest corners of your soul. But remember, it's not a punishment or a sign of failure. Rather, it's a vital part of your spiritual journey. In the midst of this darkness, it's easy to feel lost and alone. It's easy to feel like you're drowning in a sea of despair and confusion. But remember, even in the darkest night, the stars still shine. Even in the midst of the storm, there's still a calm center within you. The dark night of the soul is not a destination, but a process of shedding old beliefs, of letting go of what no longer serves you, of confronting your deepest fears and doubts. It's a journey towards truth, towards authenticity, towards spiritual awakening. This profound experience often leaves one feeling lost, but it is just a part of the journey towards spiritual awakening. It's easy to confuse a spiritual emergency with a breakdown, but there is a crucial difference. Imagine standing at the edge of a vast, unknown forest. A breakdown feels like being lost in the wilderness with no compass or map to guide you. It's a state of despair, where the world seems to crumble around you. Now consider a spiritual emergency. It's like standing at the same forest's edge, but with a sense of purpose. You're not lost, you're about to embark on a journey. The path in front of you may be dark, filled with unknowns, but it's a necessary journey for growth. A spiritual emergency, such as the dark night of the soul, is not a mental health crisis, even though it may feel like one. It's a spiritual awakening, a profound transformation that leads you towards self-discovery and enlightenment. Though it may feel like a breakdown, rest assured it is a spiritual emergency, a step towards growth. It's human nature to resist pain and seek comfort, but in the dark night, one must embrace the darkness. It's in this darkness that we find the raw, unfiltered parts of ourselves, the pieces we often try to hide, ignore, or suppress. It's a challenging, even painful process, but it's also a deeply transformative one. When we allow ourselves to feel the full range of our emotions, when we sit with our fears, our doubts, our grief, we begin to understand ourselves on a deeper level. We start to see patterns in our thoughts and behaviors, and we gain insights into our true needs and desires. And yes, the darkness can be terrifying. It can feel like we're lost in a vast, endless night. But remember, every dawn is born from darkness. Every star needs the night to shine. So embrace the darkness, lean into it, let it guide you towards your inner light. Remember, as daunting as it may seem, facing the darkness is the pathway to light. The dark night is a turbulent ride, filled with emotional highs and lows. As we journey through the dark night of the soul, emotional turbulence becomes our constant companion. It's like being on a ship in the middle of a stormy sea, where waves of despair, loneliness, and existential questioning crash against us. The intensity of these emotions can be overwhelming, leaving us with a sense of being lost in a vast, dark ocean of our own suffering. But remember, the turbulence is not our enemy. It's a necessary part of the journey, a sign that we are moving, growing, evolving. It's the turbulence that churns the depths, bringing to the surface what was hidden or suppressed. It's the turbulence that breaks our hearts open, allowing us to access deeper layers of our being. So, how do we navigate this emotional turbulence? The first step is to acknowledge our feelings. Don't try to suppress them or push them away. Instead, allow yourself to feel them fully. When you feel despair, let yourself sink into it. When you feel loneliness, embrace it. When you grapple with existential questioning, let the questions flow. As we allow ourselves to feel, we begin to understand that these emotions are not our identity. They are experiences, waves that pass through us. And just as no wave can last forever, no emotion, however intense, can last forever. Secondly, practice mindfulness. Observe your emotions without judgment. Watch them rise and fall. By doing so, you create a space between you and your emotions, a space where calmness and clarity can grow. Lastly, remember to be gentle with yourself. This is a difficult journey, and it's okay to feel overwhelmed. It's okay to take a break, to seek comfort, to cry, to scream. And when you're ready, you pick up your oars and continue navigating the stormy sea, knowing that the turbulence is shaping you, refining you, preparing you for the dawn that awaits after the dark night. Embrace the turbulence. It's a sign that you're on the right path. As the ego begins to erode, one might feel disoriented. This disorientation isn't a sign of failure, but rather a marker of profound transformation. During the dark night of the soul, this erosion of the ego is a common phenomenon. What is the ego? It's the constructed self, the persona we've built up over the years, facilitated by societal norms, cultural expectations, and personal desires. It's the I that we identify with, the me that navigates the world. But during the dark night, this familiar self begins to crumble. The beliefs and identities that once felt concrete start to feel less solid. The sureties that once defined us become more like sand slipping through our fingers. It's unsettling, disconcerting, even terrifying. It's like losing your footing on a steep hill, scrambling to find a hold, but sliding nonetheless. But remember, this is not a fall into the abyss, but a descent into the self. It's a process of unlearning, of stripping away layers to reveal the raw, authentic being beneath. Though uncomfortable, the erosion of ego is a significant part of this journey. The dark night beckons us to face our shadow aspects. These are the parts of ourselves that we've buried deep within, the suppressed emotions and aspects that we've kept hidden away. Often these are facets of our personality that we're not proud of, that we're ashamed of, or that we simply find too painful to confront. But in the dark night, we're given an invitation, a call to courageously confront these shadow aspects. It's a process that's not for the faint of heart, but it holds the promise of profound healing and integration. By bringing these aspects into the light, we can begin to understand them, to integrate them, and ultimately to heal. This is a journey inward, a deep dive into the self. It's about finding compassion for all parts of ourselves, even the ones we'd rather not see. Facing our shadow aspects can be challenging, but it's a necessary step towards integration. In the midst of the dark night, one might feel a loss of meaning and purpose. It's as if you've been wandering through a dense forest, and suddenly the path you've been following disappears. The compass of your life that once pointed you towards your goals and ambitions seems to have lost its direction. The things that once brought you joy and satisfaction might feel hollow. You might question your place in the world, your career choice, your relationships, or even the very essence of who you are. This loss of meaning and purpose can be deeply unsettling, and it's not unusual to feel a profound sense of emptiness. But do not despair. This is a common experience during the dark night of the soul and can be a pivotal moment in your spiritual journey. It's a call to dig deeper, to search within for a more profound sense of purpose, one that resonates with your true self, unencumbered by societal expectations or previous beliefs. You might find meaning in simplicity, in the act of giving, in the pursuit of knowledge, or in a myriad of other places. The key is to remain open, curious, and patient. You are not lost, you're on a journey of self-discovery. This period of uncertainty is not a sign of failure, but a stepping stone on your path towards greater understanding and wisdom. Remember, sometimes we must lose ourselves to truly find ourselves. The path of the dark night is often a lonely one. This spiritual journey, as profound and transformative as it is, can often feel isolating, as if you're traversing through an unforgiving wilderness with no one else in sight. The solitude, while at times overwhelming, is not a curse but a calling. It's a call to delve deeper into your soul, to sit with your thoughts and emotions, to truly know yourself. But remember, even in the depths of this spiritual loneliness, you are not truly alone. There are others who have walked this path before you, and there are communities and mentors who understand your struggle. Reach out to them, share your experiences, your fears, your hopes. Find solace in their wisdom and comfort in their empathy. There's a saying in many spiritual traditions, the teacher appears when the student is ready. So be open, be ready. Remember, you are not alone in this journey. There are practices that can support you during the dark night. Often, it's the simple, quiet moments that offer the most profound healing. Consider meditation. It's a gentle practice that allows you to sit with your thoughts, observe them, and let them pass. It fosters a sense of peace within the turmoil. Prayer, too, can be a powerful tool. It doesn't matter to whom or what you pray. The act itself can be a source of comfort and connection. It's a reminder that you are not alone in your struggle. Journaling is another practice that can provide great insight. It allows you to express your feelings, fears, and hopes. It gives voice to the silent parts of you that yearn to be heard. And lastly, connecting with nature. In the simplicity of the natural world, we often find a sense of belonging and perspective. It's a reminder of the cyclical nature of life, the rise and fall, the light and dark. These practices can be your anchor in the storm of the dark night. Surrendering is not a sign of weakness, but a strength. This, my friends, is a pivotal realization when traversing the labyrinthine depths of the dark night of the soul. It's like sailing on a turbulent sea. You can't control the waves, but you can learn to navigate them. Surrendering isn't about giving up or conceding defeat. It's about acknowledging that you're in the midst of a transformative process. A process that is bigger than your conscious self. Resisting this journey, this process is like pushing against the tide. It's exhausting and it prolongs the journey. But once you surrender, once you let go of the need to control, you allow the currents to guide you. You start to move with the flow, not against it. This is the essence of surrendering during the dark night of the soul. It's about trust, acceptance, and allowing the process to shape you, to mold you into a stronger, wiser version of yourself. Surrender, let go, and let the process guide you. Despite its challenges, the dark night holds the potential for profound spiritual growth. This stage, as daunting as it may be, carries within it the seeds of transformation. It is a crucible that shapes and refines, molding us into beings of greater wisdom and understanding. Consider the caterpillar encased within its chrysalis. It endures a period of darkness, a seeming end to its existence, yet it emerges as a butterfly, its previous form unrecognizable. This metamorphosis, this profound change, is akin to what we undergo during the dark night of the soul. There are countless stories of individuals who, having navigated this spiritual wilderness, emerged with a deeper understanding of themselves and the world around them. They found that their trials had not broken them, but rather forged them into something stronger, something more authentic. Remember, the darkness is just the womb for your rebirth. Sometimes we need a helping hand to guide us through the darkness. It's okay to admit you're not alone in this journey. During the dark night, professional support can be a beacon of light. Therapists, spiritual mentors, they can provide insights, tools, and understanding to navigate this challenging phase. Their wisdom and guidance can be invaluable. So, if you find yourself lost in the darkness, remember, it's okay to ask for directions. Don't hesitate to seek help. You don't have to walk this path alone. After the darkness comes the dawn. The journey through the dark night of the soul can be a turbulent and challenging one, but it is a journey that leads to integration and rebirth. It is a process of shedding old beliefs, identities, and ways of being that no longer serve us. It's like molting, letting go of the old to make way for the new. As we navigate through the depths of our inner self, we start to see the world with new eyes. We begin to understand ourselves and our place in the world in a profoundly different way. This is the process of integration. It is a time of rebirth, a time of stepping into a renewed sense of self and purpose. We emerge from the dark night not as the person we were, but as the person we are meant to be. We are stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. We are more in touch with our true essence. Like a phoenix rising from the ashes, you too will emerge anew. The journey through the dark night requires patience and self-compassion. These are not mere words, but your lifelines in this intense spiritual voyage. As you navigate the tumultuous waters of your soul, remember, this is a process. It's not about reaching a destination quickly, but about understanding, healing, and growing at your own pace. Be gentle with yourself. Honor your emotions. Show yourself the same kindness you would extend to a dear friend. Be patient with yourself. This is not a race, but a journey. If you're seeking more guidance, there are resources available. A wealth of books delve into the dark night of the soul, such as those by Eckhart Tolle and Thomas Moore. Online platforms offer communities of like-minded individuals walking similar paths, providing comfort and shared wisdom. Many spiritual mentors and therapists specialize in guiding individuals through this profound process. Remember, you're not alone on this journey. Reach out, seek help, and most importantly, trust the process.